What do you get when you mix an intergalactic bounty hunter with a sarcastic talking duck and then crank the weirdness up to 11? You get Lobo the Duck. Lobo the Duck is chaos meets quack. To understand Lobo the Duck, you kind of have to understand its DNA. On one side, you've got Lobo, the main man, a violent, over-the-top bounty hunter who thrives on destruction, attitude, and excess. On the other side, there's Howard the Duck, a cynical, wisecracking outsider stuck in absurd situations, constantly mocking the world around him. Now imagine those two energies colliding. Lobo the Duck comic books feel like a chaotic fusion of both, the wild, unfiltered energy of Lobo, the surreal, satirical humor of Howard the Duck. But instead of balancing those elements, it just lets them run wild. Like Lobo, the comic doesn't hold back. It's loud, exaggerated, and completely unapologetic. And like Howard, it leans hard into absurdity, breaking conventions, twisting reality, and making you question what you're even reading. It's not just weird for the sake of being weird, it's intentionally chaotic. What makes Lobo the Duck comic books interesting is how it embraces both extremes. From Lobo, it gets the rebellious, no rules attitude. From Howard, it gets a self-aware, satirical edge. And the result? A comic book that doesn't just break the fourth wall, it forgets the fourth wall ever existed. If you're a fan of over-the-top chaos of Lobo or the offbeat humor of Howard the Duck, then Lobo the Duck sits right in that strange, chaotic middle ground. It's messy, it's ridiculous, it makes no sense half the time, and that's exactly why it works. So as I mentioned before, Lobo the Duck is a cross between Howard the Duck and Lobo. And just a few specific examples to show you. In this number 1 of Lobo the Duck, it has this society that he's going and battling, and it talks about the infallibility traced back to improperly functioning kidneys. So this society is like obsessed with kidneys and the functioning, and they think everything bad is connected to improperly functioning kidneys, and all this is kind of nonsense, but it's funny. And if you have read Howard the Duck, specifically in Howard the Duck number 2, there's this woman on a bus who Howard gets into like a back and forth with, and she is talking about kidneys, I know you're out to get them. And the whole time she keeps talking about the functioning of her kidneys. And then even in some of the stories, they reference rudabga. And in this one, the rudabga looks very similar to the Turnup man's costume. So Lobo the Duck really did take things from the story of Howard the Duck and of Lobo. But I thought it was just kind of funny. The kidneys part is humorous because that's a direct pull from issue number 2. So when you're talking about Lobo's first appearance was in Omega Men, and number 3. And he shows up, and the one thing you'll know about Lobo is he's not really good or bad, he's just about doing his job and getting the money for it. So in this case, he, I guess, is kind of the anti-hero because he ends up capturing someone who's considered good and turning him over for the bounty. So his character truly doesn't have like a moral compass, really. He's just in it for the money. And Lobo the Duck has a lot of qualities that are similar to Lobo, and it's interesting because when Steve Gerber was asked if he liked Lobo the Duck, he said he didn't like him. He thought it was gimmicky, and he kind of lacked the qualities that Howard is known to have. And I think it's because Howard the Duck, if you read the issues, he's still a moral character, and he's still a good guy. He'll even go out of his way to help someone, even when he knows it's going to be a lot of work and it's going to be, he just feels like yeah, I should do this. So I feel like it's really hard to make Lobo into a character with Howard the Duck, because of course it's going to come out very different than Howard the Duck, because Lobo is very opposite of Howard the Duck. Howard is always kind of the common man and the fears that we have in the world, but he's still trying to live in a good way. He ultimately, towards women, he'll be flirty, he likes to smoke and whatnot, but he's still respectful. Lobo is not always respectful, and he doesn't always care about what's right. He wants to collect. So I think if you're trying to combine the two, Lobo does a great job of that, but I can understand why Steve Gerber maybe didn't like him, because it is very counter to who Howard the Duck is. He loses all of his moral qualities when he's Lobo the Duck. So in conclusion, Lobo the Duck is not Howard the Duck, and he isn't Lobo. But he also is Howard the Duck and Lobo, combined into one. The Duck might be slightly gimmicky, but he is funny, and the writer obviously knew the story of Howard the Duck and the character of Lobo. It's wild, and it's different, it's even fun. Lobo the Duck is not Howard the Duck, and it lacks his depth, and that's okay. He has Lobo's qualities, but lacks the same motivations, and in some ways, he might even be tougher because he's not a human, he's a duck. He offers the same violence and the same crudeness. Lobo the Duck, Lobo, and Howard the Duck are all their own creations while sharing in a similar story. I think there's a place for all of them without replacing one of them. So I hope you enjoy all these characters and can appreciate them, even if some of the creators didn't necessarily appreciate them. If you've enjoyed this dive into the weirdest corners of comics, hit like and subscribe, and tell me, should more comics embrace this chaos? Or is it better left as a strange cult classic? Thanks for watching!